So moved, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bostic. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Garrett. All in favor? Aye. Need a certification,
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Chairman, I move that we certify that to the best of our knowledge, our public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements, and only such public business matters as were indicated in the motion to go into executive session were heard, discussed, and considered in executive session. That was 2.2-3711 and 2.2-3711A7 and 2.2-3711A8.
thank you, Mr. Parsons. Mr. Sacagawea?
Yes.
Mr. Bostic?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
And Mr. Parsons?
Yes.
Ms. Garrett?
Yes.
And myself, yes. We will stand and have invocation and pledge. Mr. Sacagawea? Thanks.
Dear Lord, please guide the school system and be with our students, our staff, and the families that we serve. Be with those in our community who have lost loved ones. Make well the sick, restore happiness to those who feel hopeless, dear Lord, and especially now, bring peace to everyone. Through your Son, our Savior. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any adjustments to the agenda, Dr. Brown?
Yes, Madam Chair, I shared with Madam Clerk an action item dealing with board consideration for approval of a resolution related to initial.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll finalize the agenda. Board had a chance to look at the minutes.
I make a motion to finalize the agenda. I'll
Thank-
second that.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons and Mr. Gibson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion that we approve the minutes and dispense with the reading?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair, to approve the minutes as we have them presented.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dr. Brown, we have recognitions this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have for the board, with it being February, School Board Appreciation Month, I do have for the board certificates from our School Board Association for the work that the board members do for Russell County Public Schools. I guess normally we've had to ask the board to come down, but Madam Chair, maybe I could present these to each board member, we just stand up and take a photograph that way?
That'll be fine.
Okay. Mr. Ball? Ross. Madam Chair?
Thank you, sir.
Spirit.
Thank you.
Mr. Gibson? Mr. Parsons?
Sir?
Mr. Weeks? Mr. if board members would stand, we'll get a photograph for our records. Okay. All right. Just show your certificate that you want.
Get it wide and go up there.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Also, we have School Board Clerk Week. It's in the month as well.
Come on, we do.
Come on
Yeah.
now. Please.
Who's that? Smile?
Here we go.
Smile a little.
Thank you.
I'd be proud. We never know, do we?
Madam Chair, I ask Mr. Fletcher to join us for our teacher and support staff of the month.
Dr. Brown, Madam Chair, and members of the board, it's a pleasure to bring to you the February awards for employees of the month. Tonight we have our support employees from Lebanon Elementary School, the cafeteria staff. So I'd like to ask them to come forward. Lebanon Primary, I'm sorry, with Ms. Sykes. You all will come forward, please. And our teacher of the month is Amanda Browning from Copper Creek. All right, I'd like to read to you what was in the recommendation. I've nominated the cafeteria workers because they've gone above and beyond their jobs since the last school year when COVID shut the schools down. I cannot just pick one, so I would hope they would be recognized as a group for all their hard work and dedication to our kids. This has been a very stressful time, but all we do is think of cafeteria, but all, let me start again. This has been a very stressful time for all, but I do think the cafeteria workers have really stepped up and shown how important our kids are, and that's very true. We appreciate your work.
Probably post that. School.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Browning's not here, I'm not quite sure why, but I'd like to go ahead and read the nominations. There's 2 or 3 of these. For Amanda Browning, beyond dedicated, overly passionate, and such a well-structured teacher. My child came out ahead of schedule on learning even during the school year, not finishing due to COVID. I've heard she's still going above and beyond throughout the virtual learning for this school year also. She could never receive enough praise from our family for the teacher she was to our daughter. She set a very high bar for any future teachers our child may have. Another one, she is a fantastic teacher. She is patient with all her kiddos. She gets down on their level of learning, does what she needs to do to get them to understand and learn what they are doing. She goes above and beyond what a teacher should do. I'm very thankful my child has her in so many ways. Ms. Browning has not only helped my child with school learning, she has helped her with her manners and being more responsible and giving more than she already is. Thankful is an understatement when it comes to having Amanda Browning as my teacher. My child is blessed. Then I have another one. Amanda has put in many years as an educator and is a lifelong learner herself. In addition to her BS degree, she holds a master's degree in mathematics. She's a hard-working teacher as well as an individual. The students in her kindergarten classroom excel, and she's constantly finding new ways of providing exciting and innovating activities for learning. After the pandemic began in March 2020, Amanda began setting up a Google Classroom for her students long before it was required. Throughout the summer, she met the challenge to become Google certified and lead the teachers in our school as the Google team leader. In addition to that, she took online courses and completed certification on her own. These classes ensured she had the best possible training to provide quality instruction to her students. She has continued to lead with excellence within the school building and is willing to help and assist others. Her students are all actively involved with the Google Classroom and are performing well. She puts many hours in providing quality video instruction, activities, and communicating daily with parents and students. Amanda truly meets and exceeds challenges put before her, and her students are meeting and exceeding the challenges she gives them. Amanda Browning, Copper Creek Elementary.
Okay, Dr. Brown, the delegation on the agenda.
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Music contacted us, wanted to speak to the board.
I'm here tonight on the issue that was brought before the board back in October or November. A parent told the board they were told to go out and find internet. I'm here to show you that's still the case. It reads, and I'm just going to do a little what I'm talking about. All work for snow days will also be on Google Classroom. If you don't have internet, it is your responsibility to get to a place to download it. Any unfinished work will be completed during PE, music, library, or technology on the day we return. Now, as soon as me and her mother saw this, as plain as it is, we said anything, if we'd say anything, we'd be told, oh, you misunderstood. That's what we were told with the last issue that we had. The teacher was asked a great question. Her response to the question caused a story. So I talked to you about it, Cynthia, and you asked if I talked to Greg. I hadn't, because I've tried to in the past, and he seemed not to hear what I had to say. But I did contact Mr. Mullins and was told, oh, you all just misunderstood. So that makes me not want to talk to him about issues. Later that evening, the day the note was brought home, my daughter received a message from the teacher that a parent had misunderstood the letter. You have that letter in front of you now. Do you misunderstand it? I'm not here to down HES because I've always told everyone our teachers in Homeacre are great. But if this is happening in Homeacre, how many other schools in our county are parents being told it's their responsibility to find internet on snow days or when school is virtual? The administration of Russell County chose to go with Chromebooks for virtual learning on snow days, knowing that not 100% of students had access to internet. Russell County schools should be responsible to make sure that all students have the same opportunity, whether they have internet or not. The students have no control whether the parents can afford internet or whether internet is available at their homes. I know hotspots have been placed in the county, but has anyone taken a Chromebook and tried to download the videos? We have, and after sitting there for an hour or more, it doesn't work. We get frustrated and give up. I couldn't imagine doing it for multiple children. At the first of the school year, parents received a paper from Russell County Schools. The paper stated that the work would be downloaded or put on a drive for the week. If that were taking place now, parents wouldn't have to be out on snow days or any other days spending their time and gas trying to find internet. I think the teachers have more on them than they can handle. Instead of taking their valuable time, why can't the school system hire people to help get the work downloaded on the computers? If the children without internet had the work for the week already on the computer, they wouldn't be behind. Resources being taken, such as PE, music, that will be taken from the kids without internet after a snow day seems to make the children have consequences.
I apologize that you're 3 minutes again. Is there one last statement you'd like to make really quick?
Yes, on the second page you have, if the Chromebooks works like they should, then why would the teacher have to state to leave the page up? Because if it worked like it should, then the student should be able to just, save it and it be there when they get to school, but that doesn't happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Brown, would you care to get with Mr. Tim Bubba's or technology and see if Ms. Music can get her issues resolved with the internet and Chrome?
Excuse me, it's
Yeah.
just not my issues. It's any student in Russell County that doesn't have internet. I mean, it's not just for my granddaughter. I'm concerned for the other.
I understand, and I thank you for that. Would you care to explain, Dr. Brown, if students are going 4 days a week?
Yes, Madam Chair, I mean, of course, it's not a perfect system.
No.
We have students that are out, and doing 100% remote. It can be trying at times.
Right.
We do have situations where we have weak signals in various locations and such. For students that are on the hybrid model, we of course recommend that they try to download as much as possible before they leave school on their second day of their hybrid rotation, because again, you don't have to have necessarily internet service in order to do the work if you have downloaded that stuff previously, if it's available. And then when they can work on it, students can upload it when they return to school the following days after their hybrid schedule. When students are on 4 days a week, hopefully everything can be available, or near everything can be available on Tuesdays before they leave for the Wednesday. And if that be the case, they don't need internet access at all. They can actually, if they downloaded things on Tuesday, if that's been made available. And sometimes I'm sure there's things that happen where it's not. But most of the time when they are on a 4-day week, they can download those things hopefully before the end of the day on Tuesday. They can work on those without internet. And then when the child comes back on Thursday, the system will be able to upload that material. So in an ideal environment, when you have a 4-day a week student, those students should be able to download most of everything on Tuesdays, hopefully, work on it without internet needs on Wednesday, and then they can upload it on Thursday. But again, there are bumps in the road. Obviously, we've had issues with weather, and of course with different outbreaks and so forth with our COVID-19 protocols and issues we've been dealing with. But we'll keep working hard, and we'll try to keep making it better.
I was reading something with Wise County. They're looking at maybe some satellite, was it Starlab or something?
Yeah, Starlink and so forth. There's a program through actually Elon Musk and his program. It's in its trials right now. They were able to get a handful of students on it. I did speak to the superintendent there about the program, and it's a great program, and as it grows, hopefully that'll be able to be something that we can consider. But with that program, it's very isolated. There's certain pockets within, for instance, Wise County, that it can be used. It can't be used anywhere in Wise County. It's got to be in certain regions of Wise County. So they had to go in and actually geoplot the students in Wise County to identify areas, and then they were able to go and speak to those parents about the opportunity. And again, they are doing the trial on that, and from what I've heard from the superintendent right now, it's very favorable. But they'll keep gathering information, and hopefully as that program expands, that could be possibly an answer for the broadband needs that we have. But again, right now, it's a very isolated environment just for certain regions. They didn't reach out to us because of the geographics of where we're located compared to where their satellite is. Wise County, they had an edge of Wise County that worked, so they have a very small section there that they have people test driving, if you will, that internet program. And again, to this point in time, my understanding is that it's doing well, but again, the problem is it's, again, they just got the one and it's very isolated and compacted in one little corner of Wise County right now. So we're hoping and paying attention to the research and hoping we'll get, again, a wider brush, if you will, of areas that will cover eventually.
Dr. Brown, do you have anyone else on the agenda?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. We need to approve the bills and accounts. Have a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Fawcett. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. All in favor? Aye. Takes us down, Dr. Brown, to the resignations and retirements.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a small list for the board's consideration. We have put out intent forms for next year. We went with the electronic approach now instead of the older original version of sending out paper and collecting paper and so forth. We went with, again, electronic method. We've secured those, and we probably will have a few more people, of course, that choose to retire, but we are moving forward with gathering the information for next year's intent.
Okay, can I have a motion that we approve retirements or resignations?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Sakawichi. All in favor? Aye. Dr. Brown, takes us to the new hires and transfers.
Yes, Madam Chair. We have, again, a small list for the board's consideration, the majority of which are, again, athletic positions and such. But, again, we have a small list for the board's consideration tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Have a second?
I'll second
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. All in favor?
it.
Aye. Okay, Dr. Brown, approval of the proposed calendar.
Yes, Madam Chair. Every year we, of course, have to construct a calendar for the following year, for the FY22 year in this case, and we have that for the board's consideration tonight. The calendar, again, is the typical 180-day calendar. The Code of Virginia requires us to construct such. At some point in time, right now, we do have the ability to transition to 990 days, but with the beginning of the FY22 school year, again, we have to construct this 180-day calendar. So we have it for the board's consideration. This is in alignment with the calendar this year and the last couple years. As far as this year goes, obviously we pushed the opening of the school year 2 weeks to 3 weeks. That adjustment, again, would need to be corrected. So what you have here, again, is the original calendar for this year and the calendar that we operated under for the last 2 years.
Have a motion to approve the calendar.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Have a second.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Sakawichi. All in favor? Aye. Dr. Brown, give us the coronavirus update, please.
Yes, Madam Chair.
We have another,
Oh, I apologize. Thank you, Madam
Yes.
Clerk. We do have another action item that we added at the beginning with the adjustment in our agenda, and I'll turn the podium over to Ms. Patton for a resolution for the board's consideration.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I think this is the first time I've addressed you like this as opposed to just answering questions here and there. But I do appreciate your time, and I have a resolution for the board's consideration tonight celebrating the life of the Honorable Augustus Benton Chapin Jr. Again, I'm here with a heavy heart asking you to do this, and I wish I wasn't standing before you this evening, but I do hope the board will consider this resolution and all the service that Ben has given to the county over the years, and especially to the school board. I know he would want me to tell you all that one of his greatest privileges was being the school board attorney. I think he started in 2003 and continued up until his passing, and I've had the honor to work with him and learn from him and be a part of his rewarding work as well. I won't take full credit for this resolution. I did take what the General Assembly had passed earlier and tailored it a little bit more to Ben's work in Russell County. Celebrating the life of the Honorable Augustus Benton Chapin Jr., whereas the Honorable Augustus Benton Chapin Jr., a passionate advocate for Southwest Virginia and an accomplished attorney and state legislator who earned bipartisan admiration for his commitment to the betterment of the Commonwealth as a whole, passed away on January 1st, 2021. Whereas a proud native of Russell County, Augustus Benton Ben Chapin Jr. grew up on his family's farm and learned the value of hard work and responsibility at a young age. He worked at a local meatpacking plant as a teenager, and he returned home most weekends while attending college to help on the farm. And whereas a first-generation college student in his family, Ben Chapin received a bachelor's degree from East Tennessee State University and a law degree from the University of Richmond. And whereas Ben Chapin established what is now Chapin Law Firm, PC, in the 1980s and practiced law throughout Southwest Virginia for more than 30 years. In addition to his work as an attorney, he served on the board of the First Bank and Trust Company and held close to his roots in agriculture as the owner and operator of a beef cattle farm. And whereas Ben Chapin began his public service to the citizens of Russell County in 1988, when he began representing the Russell County Department of Social Services and represented the agency for almost 30 years. And whereas Ben Chapin continued his public service to Russell County as legal counsel for the Industrial Development Authority of Russell County, Virginia, beginning in 1992 for 28 years. The Russell County School Board beginning in 2003 for 17 years. The Russell County Public Service Authority beginning in 2008 for 12 years. And the Board of Supervisors of Russell County, Virginia, beginning in 2018. And whereas Ben Chapin, through his representation of these Russell County agencies, helped to elevate and provide invaluable services to the citizens of Russell County, and where desirous to be of further service to his community and to the Commonwealth, Ben Chapin ran for and was elected to the House of Delegates in 2013, becoming the first Republican to represent the 4th District in more than 20 years. And whereas Ben Chapin was subsequently elected to the Senate of Virginia during a special election in 2014, and ably served the residents of Southwest Virginia in the 38th District until the time of his passing. And whereas Ben Chapin was a staunch proponent of public education, responsible economic growth, Second Amendment rights, and access to health care for all Virginians. And whereas Ben Chapin consistently supported job creation in his district, helping to establish the Invest Southwest Virginia Partnership to promote the coalfields region as a future site of renewable energy, infrastructure, and high technology business development. And whereas Ben Chapin served the residents of Russell County, Virginia, and the entire Commonwealth with the utmost dedication, integrity, and distinction. And whereas outside of his careers, Ben Chapin was an avid outdoorsman who relished every opportunity to appreciate Southwest Virginia's natural splendor. He volunteered his time and leadership as former president of the Russell County Rotary Club and enjoyed fellowship and worship with the congregation of Gracewood Community Church in Lebanon. And whereas Ben Chapin will be fondly remembered and greatly missed by his wife of 38 years, Laura, his children, Sophia, Audra, Augustus III, and their families, and numerous other family members, friends, and colleagues. Now therefore be it resolved by the Russell County School Board, hereby note with great sadness the loss of the Honorable Augustus Benton Chapin Jr., a respected statesman, attorney, and champion for Russell County, and be it further resolved, the clerk of the Russell County School Board prepare a copy of this resolution for the presentation to the family of Augustus Benton Chapin Jr. as an expression of the school board's respect for his memory.
Thank you, Ms. Patton. I need a motion. Thank you, Mr. Boswell.
second.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you so much for presenting that.
Madam Chair, we have update for the board for information item. And this is, again, 6th, 7th, 8th month that we've done such. But when we look at the coronavirus update for the month of February, some things I want to point out is that We have secured the first round of vaccinations for our staff. We had nearly 90% of our staff who came forward and chose to take the vaccine. We will have the second round of vaccination shots for our staff next week. With that being said, of course, we have notified our parents, stakeholders that we will be going remote for Monday and Tuesday to accommodate such. The numbers that we're seeing coming from Ballot Health with their scorecard and from DDH are encouraging. Still ways to go, but compared to where we were at just 4 weeks ago, again, for Russell County here in Southwest Virginia, they're encouraging. So we are cautiously optimistic. We want to be very thoughtful and thorough in our approach moving forward. I will share that we will be looking at the hybrid model. We've had quite a transition from the hybrid to 4-day-a-week with our parents choosing that for their students. We're down to about 8% of our students using the hybrid model. We'll be looking at dissolving that, discontinuing that over the next few weeks. So that information will be finalized, and we'll get that out to our parents as well. So parents can choose the 4-day-per-week model, face-to-face instruction, or 100% remote model for instruction. So we're encouraged. We've been able to get through the winter sports season. We're starting officially today I guess the fall sports season with football practice and such. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to be working hard to accommodate the recommendations, expectations of our leaders in the health field, CDC, and our governor. It'll be a challenge, but we're up to that challenge. So again, some positive news, Madam Chair, as we're looking here at February the 4th. Again, hopefully we'll have some more positive news as we look at our March board meeting. So again, we're cautiously optimistic and encouraged at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Sales tax, $390,582.84. We have a maintenance report, expenditure report. Any questions from any of the board? Future agenda items?
Madam Chair, we have a set of new policies that will be coming through in the near future. So we'll be preparing those for the board that may not be available for March, but we will have a first and second reading of new policies in the near future. And again, we'll have hopefully a positive report for the coronavirus update next month.
Thank you, sir. Delegation's not on the agenda.
I'm more than happy to turn the podium over to anyone that would like to speak to the board.
Yes, I would. And I apologize, I've never been to school meeting for that reason.
Would you care to state your name, please, sir?
My name is Jamie Dye,
Jamie Dillon.
and I came across my first reason this morning as my daughter went to catch the bus at 10 degrees, and about 12 of the school bus windows will not go up and latch. I don't know if y'all have any idea of that, or know anything about that.
Jamie,
What area?
I don't understand.
I'm sorry.
I didn't
The bus
understand.
windows, they won't go up and
Oh,
latch.
wait.
What
They're about
route?
3-inch gap. And a
What
lot of
route?
the bus windows. and they're
What
not
bus
getting-
route was this on? What bus?
It's on Miller Creek Road.
Bus
But there's a
41.
lot of other buses that have this problem. I guess they've gotten, the little plastic things have gotten broken. There's a 3-inch gap in the windows. And it was 10 degrees this morning. And I was kind of wondering why the 2-hour delay is not implemented anymore. I don't know why that doesn't happen. I didn't know if y'all were aware of that, but I thought I would bring it to your attention. And another question I had, kind of pertaining to Madam's questions about Homewood Elementary. There was an email sent out to re-enroll, virtual students back into school. And I read the email personally, and the way I understood it was the way my girlfriend understood it, was that after the 29th was when they were to be enrolled back into school. And she called after the 29th, and they refused. They said they would let it back in until the next 6 weeks. And it had been 2 days. So I don't know if there was a reason for that.
Mr. Dye, I would direct you with all courtesy to Dr. Brown
Okay.
and your principal. Yeah,
But I was just wondering about the bus windows.
and the bus windows will get Mr. Addison.
And some of them have been taped by the bus drivers to stay up. These kids, they get on the bus, they throw their coats to the floor, they freeze. I just want to bring that to y'all's attention, maybe get it fixed, if you would care.
Okay.
I sure appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Duff. Anyone else?
I would.
Please state your name, please.
Sadie Dodd.
Okay.
As Mr. Brown had mentioned earlier about the Chromebooks and about us being able to download our work for kids that don't have internet at home. At the high school, personally, I'm a 10th grade student at Honecker High School, and if we don't have our work turned in that day, it's either counted as a 0 or we don't have a chance to turn it in. We have been told that teachers are allowed to give us 7 days, but some of our teachers don't. If it's not turned in that day, we get a 0. So as kids that don't have internet at home, how are we supposed to do it and turn it in that day if they won't give us paper copies either?
You were a student at Honecker High School?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Brown?
It should be said.
It should be noted on the Chromebook when the homework is turned in, even though they don't receive it. And they should accept the date that it was sent if it was 7 days.
Yes, and for some of my classes, especially my English, where we have so many assignments to do that day, she wants it all turned in that same day so that she's able to grade it and give our grades back.
I asked Dr. Brown, maybe.
I would ask.
There's got to be consideration for people that don't have
Thank you.
internet.
Thank you. You care to give her? You care to give her?
I'm sorry, oh, I'm sorry.
My name's Lindy Love. My daughter, she's in Homewood Elementary. She doesn't have internet at home. I brought the issue up at the beginning of the school year. They said that they would give me paper copies instead of addressing the issue. So the issue is when you don't have internet, it does not work, it does not upload automatically. My child is in 2nd grade. I have a bachelor's degree in digital imaging. I have to go in, and if I don't leave it up, I have to go into the computer, find whatever they saved it as. I downloaded all of her work for the week. And when I opened it up, it said image 293 at the top, 294. So I clicked on the first image, thinking, okay, that's Monday's work. First page, Monday. No, it's Thursday's work, because it took her 2 days to get me paper copies, because they had to be approved to have paper copies. Took them 2 days, so I didn't want my daughter to be behind. So I went in and I chose, it was the 3rd day, or 3rd page on front to back, is the back page of the math that came up first. So for her to upload automatically these, when you don't have internet, you have to actually go in there and physically close out, like you're closing out the assignment, completely get rid of what the teacher has on there, and choose, find the image 292 and plug it in and send it in, or it sends them a blank copy. So I've been trying to explain this from the beginning of school, and nobody will listen. They'll say, it's my fault, I misunderstood, I don't know what I'm doing. Go to the teacher. I went to the teacher. I said, okay, here's what's going on. Well, you must have a problem with your Chromebook. I'll give you paper copies. Okay, that helps me. What about these other students? I drive a school bus. I have kids that get their stuff ready, put their stuff on the school bus. What do they do? They can't do their work because they can't do all of this. Luckily, my daughter has somebody that will fight for her and go out and try to get internet, try to download these videos. The videos, I took it to Kim Compton. She teaches the Chromebook computer class for the parents. I went to a technology teacher, and I went to 3 teachers in 2nd grade in Home Elementary. I get told, well, we don't know what's going on with your computer. We can't seem to find it. There was 3 weeks in a row that there was no videos on Wednesday put on the computer because they don't know why. I take it back and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't know why it's not doing that. So I said, well, the paper says we have to have a jump drive for the computer. Oh no, we don't have jump drives. We can't give you one. So I've got a jump drive and put it in for my daughter. So it's frustrating as a parent and having, when you come and you say something's wrong and then you get criticized because you think, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm trying to get the issue fixed. I've been trying since the beginning of the school year to get the issue fixed. And for my daughter she cried the other night when she saw the letter and heard the teachers talking about they would get a 0 or have to take their PE away. It's not her fault. She cried because she was afraid that she would not be able to go and be with her friends. Field trips were taken away. If you think about when you were in elementary school,
I apologize, but the 3 minutes are up. If you have one more statement you'd like to make,
your memories of school is either field trips, parties. These kids have nothing now. So are we taking snow days and PE and their resources away?
Anyone else this evening? Thank Ms. Music for being with us. And his kids, I think, expect her under a mask. Dr. Brown, who is the contact or go-to for these parents and students that are having all this technology problems? I'm sure they're out there.
I understand. I'll speak to Mr. Lovelace tomorrow. We'll get that corrected.
Could put something on the Russell County school website if you are experiencing difficulties with your homework, getting your homework,
Yes, sir.
accessing your Chromebooks, downloading,
And
give them that go-to number.
we've got that. Maybe we need to put it in a more prominent place.
Yeah, put it right there on our Russell County website.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It needs to get addressed. I'm sure
I talked to Tim,
Ms. Lowe is not the only one that
I
has
talked
having these
to,
problems.
my grandson's had problems too, and, they have had a problem. Tim said after Christmas, he thought he had most of it straightened up, but undoubtedly, still problems. My hope is we don't have to worry about using them at home, and we'll be able to use them in school. That's my initial hope, okay?
Absolutely.
But on the snow days, it's not helping these kids. On the snow days, it's not helping these kids.
I didn't hear you.
The snow days.
Snow days, I think if you got their stuff loaded down, I would think that would be a good time to, they still use her Chromebook and stuff for homework and things like that.
I think she's saying they can't get it.
It's
Yeah,
gotta be,
yeah,
it's gotta be on there
If they
before
go to
they
school
can
over there,
use
they're gonna
it.
have it a little bit ahead of time, except for that particular day.
Yeah, except that.
Yeah, so we're not gonna lose, it's not gonna like we're losing everything. Might be losing some, but not everything.
Okay, our next school board meeting will be March the 4th. Any other board member have anything they need to
I think the bus guys need to buy some duct tape.
fix their windows?
Yeah, that
It's
needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
Future calendar items?
Yeah, Madam Chair, we have the spring network forum for the Southwest region, the art contest, that is virtual this year, and it is April 22nd. The board should have received an email from VSBA last week for that registration process.
I need a motion that you adjourn.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bostic. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. All in favor?